All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Do we have a treat for you today on this Saturday morning? And they got up early this morning. I don't know if they got up to see me or to make sure they look pretty this morning. But I'll tell you right now, we got a star performing cast right here. Somebody was talking to me the other day and asked me, "Where'd you get all them ladies on your show?" I said, "I just asked." They said, "Well, how'd you do it?" I said, "They like me." I just said all that, and it was funny because the first person I contacted, because I told her I'm gonna have her here on Saturday, was Mykisha.
Hello.
And I said, "I haven't forgot about you. Please don't think I haven't forgot about you. I got plans for you." So when I called her and told her I was doing, she said yes. Then I called LaKeisha. That was a no-brainer. I knew she was coming out. And then Dr. Brooks over here, "I got to come see your new studio." I said, "Well, I'm doing a show on Saturday. You're welcome to come." Then she said yes. And the last person I got a hold of was Miss Martha. And she had something going on, but she called back, "Wait a minute. I could move things around with all the women on. I got to be part of this show, too."
I know, awesome.
So we are here at the beautiful new studios of WSAN Radio, located at 1603 Babcock, Suite 104. LaKeisha, she reached out to me months ago. I was never hesitant, but the spirit was there for me to do it, but when? It was just when. And so now I'm here, going on 2 weeks, I think?
Yeah, that's about right.
And it's good. So the reason why I brought these ladies together was for this important reason, is we hear about voting going on out there. And I'm a firm believer that they did a stat one time about how many women are in there old enough compared to men. Y'all outnumber us 3-1. So imagine you get that power in voting right there. You can vote anybody in and out of office. I could say till I'm blue in the face, but I'd rather hear from the strong 4 black women we have right now. And that's going to be number one. And number two is I want everybody's opinion on why the old men trying to tell women what to do with their body. You know, so that's some deep stuff right there. And that's what we're going to talk about. Before we get started, we're going to go around the horn and have everybody introduce themselves and let everybody know what you do. Starting off with, let's see where my camera going to. Oh, LaKeisha.
Oh. First. No. I am LaKeisha Howard, the owner of We Got You Corporation, where we mean exactly that. We got you. It doesn't matter what capacity, we got you. So that's LaKeisha Howard.
Okay.
210-559-0701. Make it a household name. We got you.
Mykisha.
Hello, I am Mykisha Jordan-McKay. I'm the owner of Wealth Bridge Consulting, LLC, where we do all things financial services, mainly life insurance because it is very important.
Wow, I hear you on that. Miss Martha Rice.
I am Coach Rice, Miss Martha, Coach Rice, and I'm owner of Complete in Him, Transformation Life and Health Coaching. And I named that because God blessed me with that name, because he reminded us, like in Colossians where it says we are complete in him. My goal is to introduce you to that formula to show you that you are complete in him. You have everything you need. All we have to do is tap into it. So you can reach me at www.completeinhim, that's the letter N, him.com.
All right, Mrs. Dr. Brooks.
Hello. Yes, I am Dr. Veronica Brooks. I am a 3-time author of Wealthy Life Skills, 90 Days to Start Gaining Wealth, and The Warrior Within, which is my life story. I am a motivational speaker, a coach, as well as teaching people how to gain wealth using their own skills and abilities. You could go directly to my website. It's Veronica Brooks, www.veronicabrooks.com, and all my information is right there for you to get.
All right. Boy, I'm just chomping at the bits. I got power in this studio today. Just power. Whoever want to start first talking about voting.
about the voting rights. Our voting is so important for one thing, and this is Dr. Veronica Brooks. I'm being seen, right? Or
Yes.
this is Dr. Well, both, I guess. Well, voting is important because when we look at how we own our businesses, you know, we have to pick the right people that are for us and not against us. And if we look and just watch what is going on in America, being as a black woman, you know, we have to fight the hardest to get things done. So when we look at people who's out there running for us, because we need money, financial, you know, that's the main thing. Mm-hmm. But they hide those things from us. So we have to look at the people that's going to take care of us. And voting is the main thing, because if you just sit around and complain about it, it's not going to help none. But look for the people that's going to help us to build our business, build our families, and just beat the economy, basically, because we have to do the economic empowerment part on that as well.
I totally agree with you. It's funny because when I was, you know, growing up, I was taught to vote, you know, just go Democrat. But as I gotten older and grown some wisdom in the Lord, a lot of times I found people that, you know, that don't want to vote because of they misinterpret biblical principles. God didn't never say we shouldn't vote. However, he did say do your due diligence, because we are responsible for who we bring in office, not just for ourselves, but just for his will. If we know his will, we know how to do our due diligence. So you have to really look into the candidates, not just vote, just to vote, but look into who you voting for. A lot of people don't do that. I found I thought it was just a trend that I thought it was just, you know, the way I was taught, but I found a lot of people do not do their homework or due diligence in choosing these candidates. They just choosing going with the norm and majority.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about how is it affecting our future. Does it align with the will of God? And so we're responsible for who we put in office. I take that very seriously because, like Veronica said, it ultimately affects our future and our businesses too. And we here to serve the people in representation of the Lord, and we can't do that if we got our hands tied.
Right, very true.
So I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm like Martha, right? I was taught to vote down ballot, right? Whether you Democrat or Republican, just vote down ballot. As I got older and really paid attention to the issues, it was more or less, now I'm really looking at policies. What policies is this individual candidate going to put in place, and how it's going to affect me and my family and my business alone, right? So I will say it's hard right now because you're caught into this media circus, right? And it kind of, it's almost, what's the word they use? It's almost, it's nauseating, right? Because you turn on the TV and you hear this, and it's like, okay, it's too much, it's colluded, right, at this point. So a lot of people, and I can understand they're exhausted. They've just said, I'm just gonna throw my hands up, whatever happens. However, you do have to really kind of hone in on what issues are you experiencing at your home? What issues are you experiencing in your business? And what do you need to sustain and to move forward with that? And kind of just take a step back, turn the TV off, right? And just take a step back and really, you know, I'd say pray to God and ask for understanding as well, right? Because a lot of this stuff is confusing and you just don't understand what's going on. Ask for discernment. Pray and ask for discernment and understanding.
Yes.
So for me, just as you, Martha, said, you know, I was raised in Detroit, Michigan, you know, so it's a Democratic city, right? So that's what I went by when it came time for me, 18 years old, to vote. But as I grew older, I had to look at, okay, I'm in the military. I joined the Air Force at age 17. So even though I joined the military at 17, I still didn't have that right to vote until I was 18. I had to look at that point, doing the research for myself and how it affected my career in the military. Okay, not just in the civilian sector, but in the military. Whoever's in office is going to determine if we go to war. So I had to look at it in a different scope, but also look at my biblical principles as well. That for me was priority when I became of age to vote and gain that wisdom and knowledge for my own understanding. And that's when you said it's important that we do our own due diligence. It is, because what may work for you may not work for me and mine. But not only me and mine, I have to look at the kids to come and their future, and what is being planted for their future. And that's what we have control over right now. By doing our homework, looking at these candidates, going down the knowledge train for ourselves. I can't depend on, it's like you go to church. If you don't pull out that Bible for yourself and get an understanding, and you just go based on what that pastor says, no offense against any pastors or anything, let me put that out there, you're doing yourself a disservice. You have to read the Bible for yourself. You have to look at these candidates for yourself. I'm not going to discuss politics with you, right? Because your opinion is your opinion and mine is mine. I have to do my own research. And if that means going down through the history chain to see where this person started out at in politics to where they're at presently, that's what I'm going to do, because that's my responsibility to my legacy that's coming up.
Yes. That is so true. And it's interesting because it's a scripture that talks in the Bible that talks about how, at the end of the day, God chooses, but he uses us as the avenue to vote. And I think because they say God chooses, a lot of Christians steer away from voting. But like you said, I don't talk politics to anybody. Your choice is your choice. I just have to worry about how I go in and vote, because ultimately I'm accountable to God.
Yes.
Forget everybody else. I'm accountable to God for who I vote for, regardless of the outcome.
That's right.
And so I have to make sure that I do my part.
You know, my mom, she was a union president. She, you know, again, Detroit is a manufacturing, you know, plant city base and everything. But one of the things she said, she used to always say, if you're not going to do anything about it, don't complain. We have a voice as women. We have a voice, and we have to start utilizing it and setting that example. I'm not saying that we don't. My husband said, be selective on your words. Make sure, you know.
Right.
So I'm going to say, for me, LaKeisha Howard of We Got You Corporation, 210-559-0701. I'm just saying, I have to. Look, we have fun up here, okay?
Right.
We have fun. Right. But I think that for me, I have to strategically be intentional about setting that example that is positive, bringing that positive energy to show, okay, you have a voice. Utilize it. Because we are of the masses. We are.
That's true.
We just don't utilize our voice. I don't utilize my voice.
And I agree with you.
The way that I should and could.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, learning just about my own culture, because when I grew up, I didn't grow up really with people that looked like me. I grew up on the wealth side of life. You know, learning and digging into just my culture alone, and I'm grateful that I got to meet experts, people that are actually for us, with, you know, Dr. Boyce, Dr. Claude Anderson. And the news that I watch is the black news mainly, with Roland Martin, because he brings facts.
Right. That he does.
And if we don't get the facts, we get trapped in all kind of ways because they like to deter us. And this is why we cannot play checkers anymore. We have to play chess.
Absolutely.
This is why we're binding together, because to win. So when we get out there and vote, and we're telling people to vote, we want to make sure they have all the right information. So when I tell them, oh, okay, I know about this person, this is what I know about this person. And if they ask, I'll tell them, you know, this is what I know. Do you know anything else? You know, or something like that. Because it's so important to us, because like I said, a black woman, we are the number one disrespected, not in the U.S., but in the world.
Sure.
We are the number one mistreated, not in the U.S., but in the world. But yet, we're the most powerful. And yes, we actually grew up in the education, actually now at another level. And also we have grown, I should say, in the level of making millions. And then when I was able, you know, the lady in the Wall Street trillionaire, the black lady, I said, oh man, I didn't even know we had that. You know, I was like, wow. And then, you know, it's letting me know I could even do more. So that's why it's so important that's why the voting part is very important. There are people out there that is for us. We have to watch. I know we talk about the presidents and things like that, but sometimes people do things. They'll clip a certain part and they'll say that he said certain things. For example, Biden.
Right.
They say, oh, he said this about black people, but they didn't get the whole thing because that's how they trick us, what you just said, in the media.
Exactly.
And sometimes you just like, forget it, just turn it off. Go, right?
Yeah. That's why I say half truth is a lie.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
That's what got
that's
what got Eve in trouble in the garden.
yes, that's right. And so this is why we have to have the whole story and know, and that's why that's what I agree with, diligence. You know, you know, and then the military, the civilian life, you know, those things are you know, different. So you have to see, you have to watch, you have to know.
Yes.
And you have to study.
Yes.
You know, always study, you know, just really to study to show yourself approved.
Yes.
But, you know, you need to study really to know really who is out there. Because everybody that smile in your face and everybody that is really not for it.
Say that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I believe we as black women have that responsibility, right? I mean, I think we are Queen Mother, period. Right? And we were imitated a lot. And we have high influence. So we definitely need to use our voices. We need to talk to our young people. And we need to show them the way. Because a lot of our young people right now are lost.
They are.
They're lost. Right?
I think it goes back again to making sure that we're setting that example for them to know, okay, look, I've had some life struggles. I've had to reemerge on multiple occasions. But it's okay. Let me show you some things, but at the end of the day, you have to do your own research.
Yes.
You know, that is the foundation, regardless of who you are, what your sex is, what your color is. You have to do your research. And if you don't do it for yourself, we've already seen how you can be misled, right? We've seen it through our life history. But until you do your research for yourself and make that sound decision for yourself, that's when you can be accountable.
That's true.
Yes.
Because you got the knowledge and the research done for yourself. Because what works for me may not work for you.
Right.
What my belief system is may not be the same for you. It's not for me to push what I feel, what I see on you, but to engage you in a conversation that allows you to do your own research.
Right.
Yes, your own thinking.
Yes.
It's interesting that I did a podcast during Women's Month. I think it shouldn't be a month. I think it's every day.
Yes.
I did a podcast talking about the imputed qualities that God put in us as women. And the purpose of me doing that show was to show men, when you're in front of a woman, this is what you're in front of. And you want to respect that because God created her that way. He created us in a most amazing way. That's why we thrive so much. We have certain things in us because we were created to be a to help meet the need to our mates or whoever we're around or whatever we step into. We here to help you meet that need, and we have the qualities imputed in us to do it.
Right.
So if you want to listen to that podcast, it's on Mondays with Coach Rice, but on Spotify and YouTube. But that, I really wanted to celebrate us because, like you said, we have millionaires out here that are women, black women, are doing great.
Yeah.
Just like, look at the quality of a black woman that's sitting amongst us, the qualities that we have in us. Strong black women that could be, that can look like they don't have a voice. But we do have a voice, and we're making it known through our businesses.
Right.
So it's really wonderful, and you're right, we have to utilize that. We can't sit on the sideline no more and be silent. God He didn't call us to do that.
Right.
You can't help meet a need being silent.
Very true.
And with that being said, also, we have to change the trajectory that people think of us as black women. You know, sometimes when I engage with someone, in fact, I did it today because my husband, you know, he always critiqued me and give me that wisdom as being the older of the two of us, as well as being a strong husband and father. But he always let me know, hey, you know, maybe you need to change the way you communicate this or communicate that. We have to change the trajectory as black women. I'm not that one that you used to call the female dog because I got this attitude or I got that. No, that's not who I am. You may have experienced that with someone else, but who I am is this person who's standing before you that want to see you be better than me.
Yep.
That's who I am.
Exactly.
So if we can come together and make this thing work, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Because that's ultimately, my mom always said, my job is to be your mother. I'm never your friend. But you're always supposed to be better than me. So if I set the bar here, I want you to go here. And only reason that you don't go here is if you've given 110% here, and that's just where you're at. I'm okay with that, but I want you to try and get here because I want you to be better than me. So every conversation I have with whomever, I want you to be better than me. This is what I did. That may not, again, work for you, but here's some tools and resources.
Yes.
To help you change the trajectory.
Right.
And that's what it's all about to me.
Yes.
I really love that.
I love that too.
I mean, you guys are just so awesome. And you know, some of the stuff I talked about, because I was teaching economic and leadership empowerment to a group of women. It was for black women and teen girls.
Nice.
Because that's what I do. I've been doing like the last 20 years, right? So the things that they were surprised, you know, they didn't know. You know, some things that they didn't know. And this is why I know how awesome we are.
Yes.
I don't have to go and be, you know, in competition with anybody.
Absolutely.
And this is what I have told people for like over like really 30 years. You know, the competition is actually me. I'm in competition with myself.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And when I see I want to do better in another area, I go and try to learn to do better in that area. But you know, when you're have the gifts that God has really already given you, so this is why I teach people how to gain the wealth using their own skills and
That's right.
abilities, because they're all unique and then we all bind them together.
Yes.
Right.
And so this goes back to how much power we have and how much say so we even have over our body, you know, because people try to choose
Right.
and pick, you know, what to do with our body. And that's what they're doing now. This is why the voting is important, you know.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you never know what happens. You never know what the situation is. I was, you know, that was sad that the girl died because, you know, she couldn't have that abortion. See, but the thing was, that was a, you know, a situation, emergency situation, but they let, you know, she had to die because they didn't do the other part. That's really sad.
Yeah.
You know, you can't pick and choose. Somebody else is going to pick and choose for you. If I have a voice, you don't have my voice. I have a voice that was created in me, so I can use my voice. So this is one of the things that is so important. It goes back to the voting intention.
That's the foundation.
Yeah, it is a foundation. And speaking of the, you know, women's body and the choices that we should make, I think it's appalling to say that I have a 7-year-old that now has less rights than I do, right? And I look at her daily and I say, you know, something has to give here, right? Because I don't not to say that whatever we feel morally, that's between us. That's whatever I have personally, right? But to look at my daughter and say, I don't, you know, anything could happen when she goes away to college. Anything could happen, right? And the fact that she basically is stripped of her rights as to what she could do, you know, as a result of anything could happen, is it scares me, right? And and that's kind of what I like to speak to women about. Think about the rights that you have now or what you had before, and if you have children, think about what could possibly happen, and they have absolutely no control over that. Right? And you have your government, whether it's local or federal, basically telling you what you can do with your family planning, with your body. That goes all through me, and it's astounding.
Yes,
to be honest,
it is.
It's astounding.
It very much so is, because when you have people in certain situations, you know, it's just in death on top of that.
Right.
You know, what wake-up call haven't you got? You know, the government is not even in order itself. You know, they don't even know what they're doing.
Exactly.
They can't even make right decisions. They make decisions, just common sense decisions. And when I look at those things, this is where we come in, because when a black woman is inspiring, you know, other women, the world changes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And this is why our power is so great. I know they fear us. They may say other things like, oh, talking too loud or something, but we've never been loud, period. We've never even been dangerous or hurting other people. We never went around squirting the hose on people. You know, back then, you know, the water hose. We never done that.
Right.
We never put dogs on them or anything or nothing like that. We've never been the violent people.
Nope.
See, it's not us that are violent. You have to look at people that broke into the White House. That's what a thug looks like, right?
Exactly.
That's
Let's
what
call
that
a
looks
spade
like.
a spade.
That's why you have to vote on the right people.
Right.
See, the thug is not this side. The thug is the other side.
Exactly.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, a thug is somebody that is out for power, and when they can't get it, they use violence to get to it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah, because people think that's why when you enter the room, we enter the room. We as African American women, men, we enter the room. We don't have to be loud. We already have
Our presence, yes. It just
we have a
emulates.
presence of power that we
Yes.
don't even see within ourselves, but
Right.
they see it. So when we enter the room, yes, we are perceived as being loud because we come in.
Yes.
Our presence is so powerful.
They try to switch.
But if we
power.
come in loud and ghetto, then we put on an illuminating light that we don't, a bright light that blinds what they really should be seeing in us.
Yeah.
So we don't have to come in ignorant. We can come in with all our intelligence
Actually, majority
because
of us
that's
are
what we do.
intelligent.
We are very intelligent.
Yes.
We got a lot of
Yes.
great qualities. So
Oh,
we enter the
absolutely.
Yes,
room.
majority.
We entering in with power. We entering in with intelligence. We entering in, no matter what side of the fence you came on, the resilience you have in you, you enter in the room with all of that.
Yeah.
Your uniqueness, all of that.
Yes,
Just come
yes.
in and be you.
Yes,
Be the beautiful
yeah.
you that God made you. I personally, I don't like government making decisions for me because you eliminating the God that's in my life. Where is his? You know, you putting me in a position, but you also eliminating the plan of God. Why should you have to make a powerful decision in my life
Right. Exactly.
that God can only make?
That's
Very
right.
true.
I look at it like this. If I'm going to sit at the table, I'm definitely going to eat. I don't care what table it is.
Yep.
I am definitely going to eat. Because that's a choice that I make. Nobody can make that choice for me. That nobody has control over me but me and my reaction.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
But the choice is mine. At the end of the day, the choice is mine. I'm going to sit at the table and I'm going to eat. Period.
Yes.
Very true.
You
Now,
know,
if I choose not to,
yeah.
that's a different
That's your
story.
choice.
That's my choice.
Yes.
It's your choice. Exactly.
You know what? In the one thing about the Christian arena, I grew up and raised up in that area. You know, I learned a lot. As you get older, you learn, and you learn how to hear. But it was this one thing that God let me know. I had all these different offers about this job. I mean, they gave us like 52 different offers. And because I knew I was marketable, because what I did, you know, working too in the federal government Department of Defense. But I had all those offers. And I was like, oh my goodness, which one am I gonna pick? And I'm trying to tell my husband to pick, right? He said, no, I'm not gonna do it. And he said, I'm not gonna do it. I was like, oh my goodness. And then, you know, you're when you're in the Christian arena, you're asking God, and you run and pray, just like they taught us. They said, pray,
Yeah.
pray. That's what they taught us, right?
Yeah, that's what they taught
But
us.
God told me, said, stop all that. Just pick wherever you want to go, because I'll always be with you. I'll never leave you or forsake you. So I had to
Right.
stop all that,
Yeah.
right? Because He was already dwelling in me. He already lived in me. And when you get up, you know, with Him. Oh, look at my whole thing coming off. When when you get up, God, these things. When you get up with, you know, and He's in you, and you
Yes.
get up with Him, He's there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that you don't have to do. What they taught, you know, was good. But as we got older, it came out greater. So there's certain things that we just don't do because He dwells and we speak, and He speaks with us and walks with us every second,
Yes.
every minute of the day.
Yeah.
And
So-
besides that, it's already written.
Yep.
His plan is
His plan
already
is already. We think we doing something.
right.
We
Only
just,
thing you're
That's
doing
it.
in
Yeah.
that moment when you're sitting down and you're praying to Him, you're saying, "I accept Your will."
that's exactly what you do
That
Wow.
you're aligning
with His.
with His will.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not changing
Anything.
anything because He's already
That's
written.
Right,
Exactly.
because I
Wow,
got
that's powerful.
I was getting stressed out because I had 52 offers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what? That stressed me out. At first you stressed out when you don't have something.
Right.
Then when you have
Right.
all this, it was like, oh,
Which is a blessing.
Wow.
You know
But
what,
He had to
Ron?
let me pick.
Yeah.
He
We
said
just
for
do
me to
what
pick.
We do what we want to do. You know.
Right.
We sorry we got off
We do.
topic a little bit.
I know. So
But
it's
you
like-
know, when you bring some awesome ladies together,
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
who has that same energy,
Yes.
Yes.
who wants to see change for the
Yes.
greater good,
Yes.
who believes in the foundation, the biblical foundation that had already been set in place. I mean, the conversation is just awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
great.
yes, because it's so powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get 4 great, powerful women with excellence, with brilliance, that is smart, highly intelligent, full of wealth, full of knowledge. I mean, what can you say? I mean, what can you do,
That's why he
right?
said, just go pick one, because
Just pick
I'm
whatever you
sharing
want.
you with the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you
Ooh.
gonna go in,
Yeah.
and you go.
Yeah.
I'm sharing you with these group of people I put you with. That's
Well,
why jobs.
Well, I have no problem in what y'all talk. I'm outnumbered.
That's why he been so quiet over there.
No, actually, that's true too. My mama told me when to be quiet.
he got to get in. He like, I got to get in there.
But I just want to say, the flow is great. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I know we said the topic is going to go on, but it's leading to other things, and that's what it's all about. This is free flowing, and as Dr. Brooks said, when you get 4 black intelligent women in one room, people have no choice but to listen. And here's somebody that sent me something. We're talking about voting. Let me see. Let me bring it back.
He can't get
And this is right. This is good. It said, voting should not be intimidating. Voting is a personal choice and value. My vote is my vote. Your beliefs and it's your beliefs, and I will vote mine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what you should do.
So summing all that up, I was talking to somebody the other day. She's gonna give me wrong. Glenda Henry, out of Guadalupe County, and she the one that sent that to me, and she said, "There's gonna be a lot of intimidation this election year.
Oh, yeah.
People just gonna stand there and like they're gonna do something." And I said, while they standing there, why don't you ask them if they voted?
Right.
If they're standing there checking you out, did they vote? But no, y'all good. I'm just like Devo. When he leaves, I talk. When he's here, I listen.
And you mentioned intimidation, and I think that's a part of our role, right? To tell people don't be intimidated.
Right?
You go and vote your personal belief. Don't worry about it. Don't be intimidated, right? That's not
Your
it's
choice.
a smoke screen. Exactly, it's your choice.
But if you don't vote, don't be complaining.
Don't complain.
Yeah.
That's an internal thing.
Yeah, it's
But
an
you
internal.
gotta-
It is. It really
you gotta
is.
deal
You don't
with-
have. You got a choice. You don't have to go vote, but you
Right.
got to deal with the internal things.
Right.
Like if you don't vote and you have a business and all the policies go against your business, then what can you say? You made
Yeah.
that choice. My question,
Exactly.
I want to ask the question to the panel of these beautiful, wise young women. And I think it was on Ron's show one day where someone asked, what if you don't have a candidate that you really like? That you don't like, what do you do? I want to ask you guys that question.
I got a solution to that. I can't remember where, and this just came up recently. Everybody has something in them. Every single person, every single human being has some quality in them that you can find that will line up with you. I truly believe and I say that because I know who I serve.
Yes.
And I know the creator of mankind. That's my belief system. I believe that every single person has something in them that you can find, a quality in them that you can relate to. But that's going to take you doing your due diligence and your research on that particular person. So when you're going down that ballot list, you already know in advance who's on that ballot list when you go in there. So if you don't do your research prior to going in there and casting your vote, shame on you. Because when you go in there to cast your vote, because we're telling you here on this day, that's the best thing that you can do is your research. You've already researched the people that's on that ballot that line up with you, at least finding one quality about that individual that lines up with your belief system, then you can check off. So that goes back to what we said, research.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's very
people
true.
that.
Go ahead.
Yes, people that are for you. I remember when I was at the White House and talking with Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
That's my soror.
And
My girlfriend.
let me tell you, I would vote for her all day long. I ain't, because that woman, that's our congresswoman over Texas. Caldwell is for the state of San Antonio, but Jasmine Crockett is over the entire Texas. And just sitting there talking to her, because I was addressing my portion of what I was wanted to address about economic empowerment. Because when I'm talking to people on how to build wealth and create the wealth, I didn't really want them going out there getting loans, because it kind of puts them in more debt.
More debt, correct.
And I asked her, I said, I mean, how can we get the money that is already there, that is free for us? And then she said there was a grant they had put out, but nobody didn't ever apply. And I said, well, we didn't even see it. We didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
And then, she went on to explain, and then she's one person that is for us.
Yes, ma'am.
I know this for a fact. She's well for it, and she does not mind standing and speaking up for us. Yep. And when she, she gave me the information of what, places that you can actually go to and look for, and then I got the email from the assistant. I mean, she was a big help, to go and apply for just different areas for grant money. But she just, right then and there, she's like, you address something to her.
Right.
She's like on it, just like that. But she needs to know. And if we be quiet, how will she know?
How will she know?
That's
That's
true.
very true.
So that's all you have to do is, give her a call or send her a letter. She's on it.
Yes, exactly. Utilize those that you've put in office.
Oh,
give them a
yes,
phone
that's
call,
so
send
true.
a message.
Congresswoman,
That's right. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's their job. When they
That's
get
their
in
job.
office.
That's what
Yeah.
exactly. That's what our
She's
taxpaying dollars are
amazing.
paying them for,
That's
right? That's
Yeah,
absolutely.
she's amazing.
I got a question to the panel. I brought this up on my show. These talking points. We never had talking points before with Republicans and Democrats, and they get on a talking point. You ask another question, they deviate back to that talking point. They want to answer it. I'm a believer that we put you in office. When you get in office, you go to your party. Your party tells you what to say. You forgot about us. Now, my opinion about talking points, I'm gonna be blunt as BS, because you're not given an opportunity to you were put there by your people. But when you get in office, this is all we're gonna do. Forget about all that while you're here. This is what we're doing right now. That has gotten out of hand. That's just my opinion. So what do y'all think about that?
That's the definition of politics. Is
Yeah.
what that is, right? They deviate from the questions being asked. Because they're giving their talking points. That's politics, but
Yeah.
that needs to change. I do agree.
Yeah, because
Right.
why not go with your heart?
Right.
If you're going to serve the country,
Right.
serve with your heart.
Yep.
And that's
Exactly.
why I like Jasmine Crockett, because
Yep.
even when she's in the midst of when she has to sit with all the other candidates and all the other Congress people, she doesn't bite her tongue.
Right.
And I've seen it where she said, "Quit wasting the people's time."
Exactly.
She don't. And that's I just love about her, because she cares. You can feel it.
Yeah, she does genuinely care.
She
For sure.
cares about
Yeah.
us.
And
So
when you-
that's why, and that should be a prime example for others. I don't care if they're Republican or whatever, people, congressmen, congresswoman. That's an example of people standing up for us. That's the lesson that they should learn,
Right.
because she's a great leader.
Yep. That's true.
So what do you think? I have a question. So, what do you think would happen if they just did away with the caveat of Republican, Democrat?
The two-party system, just getting rid of it.
And period, I think
Yeah.
people will be forced to
Yeah.
do research, because now you got to choose which, as you want to do, is choose who versus which party.
Yeah.
I think it forces them to have to do the research.
Interesting. I would.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that right there would be something else.
That would be, because you're actually literally voting for that person.
But
at
I
that
wonder
point.
if it'll stop people from going to vote because they won't.
Yeah, you
They'll
have
be
to. You have to
lazy,
have
right?
something to keep people in
In
line.
line.
And you have to have
It's sad.
somebody
It's
to
sad,
be
but-
Kind of structure.
You have to
But-
have
Structure.
accountability
Yeah.
because some people, as you can see, that has already been up there in office has done a lot of bad things and actually criminal actions.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, that are pending. And then in I think it's Title IX where it says that even if you're in some type of, you know, I can't quote it as, you know, any type of action that is already going against you, you're going into courts and
The legal
things
system.
like that. It already says that. So that lets me know a lot really about the United States of America.
Oh yeah.
You know, because you haven't even followed that.
Yeah, and if a layperson was going through any of that, just the average citizen, it's lights out, right? So, and I think it's about, one, our justice system is not built for us. We know that,
Yeah.
right? And it's more so built for those of power and money, right? To get away with things that a layperson wouldn't necessarily get away with, right? But I also think voting plays a part in that as well, right? Because we vote in attorney generals, we vote, you know, all of those that are making these decisions on.
Right.
We vote all of that in, and not only is the federal elections important, but most important is our local elections.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Because that is where a lot of things happen that really impact you personally.
Yes.
And I found myself guilty of that when I first moved here to San Antonio. I was just voting like, whatever, like I don't know these people, right? And I'm like, no, you need to get to know them, right? Because
Right.
this is your home, this is where you're raising your family, so you need to get to know them, right? So I encourage people to not just have, not just think of federal elections, but look at home.
Exactly.
Look at the local judges, circuits, all those that are around you, that you need to do your due diligence and research those as well.
And that's what I'm looking at, because ultimately it's at a micro level. Which affects us just that much more.
Yes.
The macro level do, but the micro do too. And it's interesting when we, as leaders, period, you are there to serve.
Yes.
Not take on a position just to take on a position so you can say I got a position, or bullying the people you serve. That's not leadership.
No.
And you can't be afraid to speak up. That's what you're there for as an
Exactly.
advocate. You're not there for you're there for the people. And I think it get misinterpreted somewhere through the lines where leaders are starting to be bullies now. It's happening in corporations. It's happening at micro level all the way up to the macro level, where people are forgetting what true leadership is.
Very true.
And when you doing your due diligence, make sure you check that out
Yeah.
in their personalities and how they lead,
Yeah.
because that's going to affect us.
Very much so.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that I think it's a consensus. Research, right? Research.
Absolutely.
Research.
Take the
Do
time
your
to do
due
so.
diligence and make sure that you're looking at every aspect. Now, people, something that a person did at 17 may be different when
Right.
they get to 40, 50.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you give them that
That grace.
growth and grace,
Right.
because
Because
things
people
that
change. I was different.
Lord
then
knows.
I would not.
Okay.
You wouldn't even want to come see me when I was 17.
So you give them that grace, right?
Right. Experiences that leads to wisdom. They need
Exactly.
to experience a lot of things first.
But the consensus is
Yeah.
definitely we
Yeah.
have to do our research, and we have to, make sure that that's at the top of our conversation when we're talking to people. Don't just take what works for me or my personal research, because that's mine. You got to create your own and what works for you. and do your due diligence to find out what lines up with your belief system.
And we want to teach our children how to think for themselves.
Independent thought, exactly.
Because a lot of times, we just do it because I said, no, our generation is so different from the generation right now. They're exposed to so much more than what we was exposed to.
Think about when our parents used to say, girl, when I was your age.
Right.
You know? But I feel for it. It hurts me when I look at the generations that have come up after me. Man. You know, my husband and I have 7 kids, but we've raised a ton, right? And it pains me of what experiences that they have had with COVID, with everything that has happened in just the last 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's far greater than what in my 50 years that I've experienced.
Drastic.
You know, it's you got human trafficking at its worst.
Yes.
San Antonio being one of the biggest cities for human trafficking.
Yes.
Are we number 1 now?
Yes.
Number 1.
Oh my God.
I haven't checked. I knew we were one of the biggest cities.
Yes, I went to an event and it totally shocked me.
So, you know, they definitely have a whole different ball game
That they plan.
that they are playing, from the school system to life itself.
Yeah.
There's so many homeless children living downtown, walking the streets of downtown San Antonio.
Wow.
You know, there's kids that I've come across that has had many firsts in their life that I haven't even had. That's how bad it is in this generation that's coming up. And I fear for them. I fear for them. Every time my phone rings and I see it's one of my babies, regardless if it's one of my biological or one of the kids that I've had an influence on, is everything okay? That's my first thing I say. My son said the other day, Mom, every time I call, you don't have to ask me if everything. I do, because I don't know.
Right. No, that's
I don't know.
Yeah.
So when you call, especially if it's midday or something, that's the first thing I'm going to ask, because I know you got a full-time job. I got a full-time job. So if you calling me, I appreciate you saying, hey, Mom, just calling to check on you, but is everything okay? I have to ask that because of the things that they're going through now.
They are. And they asking questions we would never permitted to ask.
Exactly.
If they ask, they need to know. Because if I don't tell them, somebody else, their age going to tell them, and it ain't going to come out right.
Yeah.
And it's not just, I mean, my 7 and 8 year old grandkids are asking questions.
Ooh,
Right.
Yes.
7 and 8 years old. And guess what? Okay, baby, come on, let's have a conversation. But first, let me call your parents and make sure I can have this conversation with you.
Right.
Even though you're my grandbaby, I'm going to still make sure that it's okay to have this conversation. Right.
Because they be asking questions that you have to step back and go, wait a minute, hold up.
Right. My daughter just yesterday, we on our way to get ice cream. She says, Mommy, and people say this, but I don't know if it's true. They say, life can be hard. And she's 7 years old. And I'm like, and it caught me off guard. I'm like, what you mean? Like, she's never heard us necessarily say that, right? And I had to turn to her. I said, baby, well, you know what? Life can be hard. I said, but that's why we have a God that we serve, right, baby? We just believe in God, and we say we put it all in His hands, and we trust in God. That's how we can make it through, right? And she was like, yeah, you're right. But just to hear her say that at 7.
At 7, you like, wait a minute.
And the way she said it was,
yes.
I hear people say this, but I don't know if it's true. Life can be hard, right, Mommy?
Wow.
Yeah.
At 7.
Amazing.
At 7,
Yes.
I was outside jumping rope. I wasn't thinking about
Oh,
right.
No,
I wasn't thinking about life.
Right.
Yes, and I'm
Like
thinking
that.
to myself, like,
now,
right.
my neighborhood.
You know, I wish,
Yeah.
I know, Melissa, if you're watching, I'm going to talk about you because I know how awesome you are. But Melissa Williams, she's just one of my sisters and actually one of my co-chairs in National Commission. But this woman is so awesome. And I met, her 10-year-old daughter. I believe she has 6 kids. And all of them started college at 13 years old.
Wow.
And then when I met her daughter, she's 10. Oh man, she's just so magnificent.
Love that.
Intelligent. But she's 10 years old, but she's in the 9th grade.
Wow.
And I was like, man, Melissa, you could actually just train a whole lot of people with all what she does, because I thought that was just so awesome, because she is highly intelligent. She's this great woman. She's so just a humble person and just so nice, but she has done a lot. And she has done a lot for the community, even in the economic empowerment arena that people don't even know about. She has been in like over 300 articles, magazines, and in Forbes.
Is she from San Antonio?
Forbes magazine. She lives here.
Okay,
And
I need to follow. Look, I need to meet you,
gonna
Miss
be-
Melissa.
Melissa. Okay, I didn't put you out there.
Is she's a part of your
Yes, she's what
the event you got coming up, right?
Well, she's gonna be a part of that. Well, she has with Les Brown. You talking about
No,
event
the
with
one
Les Brown?
that you have in April 12th or something. No, wait, not April 12th.
April
no,
27th.
April 27th.
Which
I
one
think
is?
it's the
I don't know,
empowerment.
because I just had the economic empowerment yesterday.
That's okay. I got that mixed up.
Yeah, and then there's another. I don't know, because everybody's been asking me to attend everything, but yes, I had to brag on her.
Yeah.
I pretty much throw everybody over the bus, but I do. That's why they know me as Veronica throws everybody over the bus. I don't throw.
You give a shout out.
Yeah,
I
a
got you.
huge one. I have a tendency to throw
Looking at
Ron
their gifts, right?
over the airplane. I think.
Yeah. I went from trucks to planes overnight.
But she raised intelligent. She raised it. She's intelligent and
Yeah.
and her fruits of her labor is in her kids, right, and in the community.
Listen, she's so awesome, and
That's
that's why.
awesome.
And it gives me so much encouragement, just to know that you can train your kids and do great things, because
Yes.
she had them in public school and then took them out, and look what happened.
Mhm.
All of them already encouraged
Wow.
about to graduate from college.
At a young age.
Yes.
Right,
Okay.
That's awesome.
And so mannerable. I was like, oh my God. The 10-year-old is just so, she's amazing, but Melissa is too.
Yeah. The environment
And
has a
that's it.
lot to do with
Oh
it.
yeah, you can
definitely.
tell
Oh,
the
100%.
fruits of her labor.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, she's just a total awesome
Mhm.
woman. Whoops, I didn't need to tell all that. It just came out. Okay.
But yeah, we do have to we have to teach our children how
Yes.
to, how to vote, but how to also have their own,
Independent.
thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's gonna
Yes.
be big, and we can do it at the level we own with our kids and grandkids.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
true.
what we do
Teach
on
them how
holidays.
to do it the right way.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think one thing that I struggle with too when thinking about raising a daughter, right, is I'm in the point where, of course, I went to college and did, worked corporate America, kind of worked my way up and things of that nature, right? Now I'm more leaning towards being an entrepreneur, business owner, right? Things that I could say going to school it's connected, because the things that I learned, business college and business schools and business classes, has helped me to get to where I am today, right? But there's this thing out now where when you hear it on social media where all kids, they don't want to go to college, don't make them go to college. Maybe they want to go straight into being a business owner, entrepreneur. But I think what people fail to realize and skip is that when a child goes to college, that's when they really learn independent thinking.
Yes.
And how to be analytical, right? From my experience. And I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that, because that's something that I'm kind of struggling with as I'm guiding a daughter along, to, of course, encourage her. I want her to do whatever makes her happy, right? But I have to give guidance in the process. Right? What if she sees mommy's a business owner now, I just want to go straight into business ownership? I feel that she would skip and she would miss a very strong piece of independent thought, analytical thinking that you would get going away to college, in those courses that we would learn. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I just think that, number one, college is, there are certain jobs that don't require you to go
Very
to
true.
college that
Right.
you could be successful in. There are certain businesses that don't require college.
Right.
I think college should be intentional, because I had to go to college to get, if I wanted to go in the field I was going to. It
Okay.
was
Makes
mandatory. Now, it was beneficial, but I think exposing them community, socially, and other places can also make them independent thinkers as well, and at home.
Very true.
I don't necessarily believe that college, I think college is great. It gives you more, nowadays, especially because in order to get if you're going to go into the corporate world, I think they need to know what they're going to do.
Right.
Because you can waste a lot of time and
Makes sense.
and in college paying all that money. But I think you have to really know what you really want to do and figure out what is required for you to get to that career page
Right.
that you're trying to get to. And when you do it, you want to make sure that you help them think independently. You could do that on your own.
Yeah.
It exposed us to a lot when I was in college, but I think that it helps, especially now if you're going into corporate or if you're going to work for someone else, you might want to go and
It's
seek a
beneficial to do
degree
so.
because they don't want high school anymore. Bachelor's is the new high school.
Yes,
Degree.
ma'am.
They want more because
actually
they want
doctor's
they
degrees now.
exactly.
But, college to me is just showing that you don't never give up and you don't quit. That's what it's really doing.
That's true.
I didn't even, even though I got all these degrees, I didn't even like school like that. But
Okay.
I'm just being
Exactly.
I'm just
with you
saying.
on that one.
I'm with you on that.
Yes. All my, my brothers and sisters, all of them had all their doctors, and all this stuff. My parents, they were educated too. But to me, it's just showing that you don't quit and you really don't give up. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's just
But you
my
it's showing you
because
to-
there's a lot of people that have college education and they know about street life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And they teaching me a lot of things.
Right.
You know what and so that's what I look at college as. And I have of course I have a lot of college people that I college friends and people that professors, and then some jobs as a black woman, you have to do it just to get up, and that's what I did.
Very true.
I want
same.
to be at the top of
Right.
the ladder there when the federal government, Department of Defense, and I did that, but I'm retired. Retired from that. But yeah, when you think about college, there's things you could learn, but a lot of stuff you don't even actually use.
Oh, yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
That is very true. And you spent a lot of money on it, too.
I spent a lot of money on the gift that God gave me, and when I go in a room with people, I'm degreed up.
Right.
But I asked the Holy Spirit to come in the room with me, and it's way more effective than that degree they taught me.
Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not against college, but
Right.
you need to know what you're going to do and what was the requirements
Yes.
to get it
Yeah.
done
Yes.
so you can meet the requirements of the laws of the land.
Right.
And
Because just as well, you can go to a trade school.
I was going to say that.
Same
Which is very needed right
knowledge
now.
Right.
and have a
Yes.
trade.
Right.
I'm one of those ones who look at it like this.
She-
Right, see,
I like the
Right.
CD. She like, let me tell you what I think.
I need multiple streams of income.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
Yes.
So when I'm sleeping, somebody may
can
be
be-
online ordering
That's
some
what I'm saying.
essential oil.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Or, when I'm
Yeah.
at my 9 to 5, that's to
Yes.
pay all my bills.
You got it.
you
Okay,
go.
but I'm gonna give the same that I'm giving to my 9 to 5 to my own entrepreneurship as well.
Yeah,
Right.
you better say it.
But
yes.
I did my research because that's what we've
Yeah,
been
that's what we've been
talking
talking about.
Right.
Yes.
to make sure that. Okay, let me go back.
I love
I'm a career student. Even if I don't get a degree, if it's basket weaving, I'm gonna learn about it. I'm gonna go ahead and learn it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's
I'm a
it.
career student,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That's something I've chosen to do. Because when I sit at the table and eat, I don't care if you're the president of the United States. We can have a conversation. I can get on your level because I did my research
Right.
and I've learned. some things. But it starts with me doing that research, whether it be me taking a class, a technical field, a college class, or just going to a meeting where they're teaching something that I can utilize in my toolkit.
Yes.
It's up to me to do that.
That's true.
Yeah.
But what I told my kids, and this is just my belief system, after retiring from the Air Force, I think that if you can go into the military and serve a couple of years after high school, it gives you that extended foundation. It gives you those extended core values. In my opinion,
Right.
military is not for everyone.
Right.
Very true.
But in my opinion, it gives you something to allow you that time after you graduate, if you're mentally, physically capable of, okay? It gives you that opportunity to continue that growth part, to carry on what your parents laid in you and instilled in you, to be able to open that business based on that technical field that you got from the military. And then if you decide you want to go to college, you got that money where you don't have to go into debt
Yep.
to
A lot
go
of
and get
benefits.
that degree, that bachelor's, that master's, that PhD, or that certificate. Or if you choose to go to a community college, you don't have to go all the way to a 4-year college. You choose to go to a community college, get less debt starting
Yes.
out,
Yep.
while you're still determining
What you
what
wanna
is
do.
best for you.
Yep.
Not what was best for mom and her and riding on her coattails coming
Exactly.
up through the years.
Right.
Exactly.
But now it's about what is best for you.
Yep.
Yes.
How
makes
are
sense.
you going to set the pace and tone for yourself? So often, and I'm speaking from my experience, I didn't learn who I was until I left home
That's me
and
too.
joined the
That's me too.
military. Only thing I knew was what my mom told me I was, who my mom told me I was to be. But when I started learning for myself, who's this girl called LaKeisha Bignon at the time? And then who's this girl called LaKeisha Bignon Hicks? And finally, who's this girl LaKeisha Howard? I had to learn myself
Yep.
for myself who I was, but it carried on from that extension
Yes.
after I left home.
Yeah.
And you building a foundation for
Exactly.
your kids.
Well, the foundation was already
It's-
laid from my great grandmother
Right.
because she had a biblical foundation. So that's how she raised us in that biblical mindset. And then what I did was I built
Built on
upon,
top of that.
but sometimes I tore it down.
Oh yeah.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I
because
was
something
learning.
you were learning.
I was
Right.
learning. So, you know, every now and then that foundation, you know, it got a crack. That's
Yeah.
the real estate broker in me coming out. We got your corporation. I'm just saying. So sometimes that foundation, you know, foundation gets cracks and you got to come in and you got to
Oh,
dig
yeah.
up those cracks
Patch
in
up
the
them holes.
foundation and
Yeah.
put some more beams down in there because it may be sinking, right? So those, most of the time, those were the times that I kind of messed up and did what I wanted to do and thought I was doing the right thing for myself. But then I had to, okay, that ain't the right thing. Go ahead, dig that beam on out because it's cracked. Put a new beam in, put some concrete on top, fill the facial sides of the foundation so can't nobody see those beams that you had to rebuild until you're ready to share with them. Okay?
Right.
And then you just build that house all over again.
Yes.
And there we go.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Now, ladies, I don't mean no harm, but we sort of went 20 minutes over.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Wow.
we were supposed to just be an hour.
Well, you know, what technically, but you know,
Our bad.
if the flow is good, why stop it?
Okay.
You know,
Exactly.
because I already got people chiming in. Is this gonna be a monthly show with y'all coming on? They love what y'all doing.
I love it.
I love it.
And we are gonna do it again. We are gonna do it again because I like what I'm hearing, and And like I said, Martha would tell you right now. She'll tell you sometimes Ron be chomping at the bit to say something. This time around, not.
I was shocked actually. You was over there real quiet.
No, this is
He
all.
was taking it all in.
Yeah, that's right. This is all about the black women, on what they feel and what they think, their experience, their trials and tribulations through life, and with for you telling everybody what you went through. You know, we probably hit a lot of nerves and touched a lot of people this morning.
And can I say one thing? It is so funny how all of us have met each other in one way or another over the last several years, right?
Right.
Just out of, and here we are.
And here we are.
I've been knowing Martha for about 10 years
Yes.
now. She helped me make the decision to get my master's in clinical mental health. I met Veronica through Ron a year ago. Got her books. Didn't know why I knew why I was buying the books, but I still had some to pass out for today because Martha asked for a book. I just met her about a month ago, and here we are. I didn't realize who she was until I was like, wait a minute, we just met. And here we are,
Beautiful.
eating at the same table.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, that's beautiful.
And the food has just been
It's
delicious.
been so good. We ain't no competition.
No,
No,
not at
right.
all.
We just enjoying each other's wisdom. It's awesome.
And it's a bunch of wisdom in this
It
room.
is.
I love it. I love it.
Look, y'all just got the surface
Oh,
level.
right. We didn't even go deep.
We really did.
Y'all just got the surface. Y'all got to come back and get it, the next
next
level
level.
down.
Right.
And then we may go up a little bit more for y'all. But y'all just got the surface level today.
And I was sitting down there trying to figure out what I was going to call this group. And
You got it
I
on
ran
the thing.
across something and I said, Voices of Black Women.
Yep.
Yes.
I said,
love that.
wow. I said, even that by itself is powerful.
Yes.
And we got the power right in this room. So, but before we get out of here, I want everybody to go around the horn and let them know what you do, how to get a hold of you, and all that good stuff. I'll let anybody start off first.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to leave this with you because this is one of my quotes. Shake it off. Shake off fear, intimidation, procrastination, and hesitation so you can move on to your destination. Dreams.
Ooh.
Dr. Veronica Brooks.
Amen.
And you can contact me again at www.veronicabrooks.com. Yes.
Right.
Your number. Okay.
You want,
I
I
will
want to just go around the road.
Yeah, you
piggyback off of Veronica.
Well, let's go ahead, go around,
Yeah.
Martha.
Go right
I was
ahead.
gonna piggyback off of Ronald. This is Martha Rice, known as Coach Rice, and definitely check out my podcast every Monday at 8 a.m. This is, how you can't get up in the morning on Mondays and you're like, I'm there to inspire you or give you some encouragement or give you some information that's needed for your life as a life coach. I also have just like she said, fear. I have a workshop coming up in May for Mental Health Awareness Month, where I am teaching people tools to use to help manage anxiety, worry, stress, and fear. They all related, but they're not the same. And so if you don't know what you're dealing with, it's hard to attack it the right way. So I'm giving you tools to do that. So check out my website, www.completethenletterNhem.com. And there is a flyer. And if you want to join it, you just push join and it takes you through the process of figuring out which week you want to go. Which, the whole month, I'm doing it every Saturday. You don't have to go to every Saturday because it's going to be the same. But seats are limited because I want to make sure you're in a safe space. And I want to make sure that I give you the attention you need. And so when you go on there, just click it. You get an ebook and you get 2 30-minute sessions on how to implement anything you may have missed. And so those sessions do not expire. You can make the appointment at any time you want. And I keep track of that. And so just go on my website and you'll see the flyer. And it's going to be absolutely amazing.
All right.
Awesome. I'm LaKeisha Howard of We Got You Corporation, where we mean exactly that. We got you. It doesn't matter what capacity, we got you. We're a trusted space and a trusted friend and sister. So 210-559-0701. Make it a household phone number. Put it on your refrigerator. Tell your kids, your mom, your dad, your grandkids, everybody. 210-559-0701. We also have a nonprofit. So if you want to make a generous donation to our nonprofit, you can do that as well. 210-559-0701. We're about the community and helping our community.
All right. I am Mykisha Jordan-McKay. I am a financial consultant and life insurance broker. You can reach me on Facebook at Mykisha Jordan-McKay, as well as on Instagram at MJM_financial. I am having a virtual wine and wealth event hosted by myself and two other very great financial coaches. It will be Thursday at 7 p.m. You can also find those the Eventbrite on those two pages for Facebook and Instagram to definitely come on and learn about how you can utilize some of these tax codes. I know tax codes are very boring, but there are tax codes that we can utilize to move forward, and the wealthy are using them, so we should too, because we are wealthy.
Amen.
Believe it or not.
That's right.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming on board today. We're going to have to do this again. This was fun. I actually sat back and listened. I learned a lot of things today. Sometimes you had to say, Mykisha laughing and got Mrs. Rice over there. Because you always got something to say. But you know what? Sometimes you got to just sit back and listen to the knowledge and wisdom that I have in this room today. And I really do appreciate y'all. Very strong black women coming in today and coming together. And that's what it's all about, doing things together, showing up and showing out, and what y'all did today. So thank you for coming in today.